Alright. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? And welcome back to the King of Cannons. My comment section has been alight for a few weeks with more King of Cannons. Where are more King of Cannons? And you know what? Well, people are also asking for the Frontier files and other things as well. I, unfortunately, do not control when these replays come to me. But when the players are inspired, they play some awesome games, they send me a new pack, I get excited. And that's exactly what printF did a few days ago. The man that cannon rushes every single game, never hides his identity behind a barcode, unlike his silly Terran opponent down here, and he cannon rushes every game and never expands. It is part of his rule, part of his ethos, one base or die trying. A lot of people are paralyzed by the strategic variety, the range of things they can work on in StarCraft, but not printF. He has put his blinders on, he has put his kind of restrictions on what he's allowed to do down over a decade ago, and he has not varied from that since. He has a singular goal and purpose that many of us can only dream of. It is kind of funny as well, right? Because, like, I remember there was a period where he said, oh, I'm going to try and mix macro games in and not cannon rush and see how high I can get on the ladder when people don't know what's coming, and I mix and match cheese and macro and you know, or just do the macro and see what happens. I don't know if he ever followed through on that. I'm pretty sure, I think maybe he got busy with university when he was finishing his degree or getting his first full-time job, and he wasn't able to follow through on it as much as he'd like, but I'm always so fascinated to see like where he can go. Now, this is, of course, a classic cannon rush, guys. He had the wall off on the low ground, cancelled the 2 pylons, built the gateway, he's got the cannons. Now, the wall off's here for the Terran, and if you can get a bunker up covering the ramp and shoot down these probes so he can't get any cannons on the high ground, then you can defend the ramp. The problem is we're only on 1 gas, no factory just yet, and there is, of course, going to be a Stargate follow-up. We've seen this many times before. printF will go for Tempests, and you need to go a Thor to defend it, or maybe Vikings, but of course, if Vikings chase into those cannons, it's going to be very hard, whereas a Tempest in single-target firing mode can outrange a Tempest and do okay. The problem is look at that beautiful positioning on these probes, providing high ground vision, just barely with these probes. And if you move your Marines forward to focus them, yeah, you might kill them, but you're going to lose your Marines to the cannons. So, losing 2 depots, a massive supply block. And whilst we are going to second gas, this feels like an awful start for the Terran. He's already lost 2 depots. Didn't lose an SCV, but that sets up the contain. Cybercore goes down on the other side of the map. Double gas is there. And of course, he's going to continue probing up to 16 workers on minerals. He's got the Cybercore about to finish. He needs 150 gas, does printF. You can see he's got it. Cybercore finishes. Stargate goes down. And it's time to do what he's done so many times before. Now, we do have Tech Lab coming out of the factory. 1 siege tank is not a bad idea to try to break out. Multiple siege tanks usually very poor, though, because they don't help against the real threat, which is the air units. There's not actually a threat to break out of this base. It's much more about not dying to the Tempests and the siege. You can potentially either float a command center out or drop one, but you can see printF's already scouting for that as well. So it's going to be a Cyclone to start. The Cyclone, you know, yes, it can pick off the Tempests and stuff, especially since the mag. And to be fair, I don't know if we've cast too much of printF on this patch playing against the old Cyclone, right? Like, obviously, we can go back over a year to when he was playing against the Cyclone with Magfield a lot more, but I know that the Cyclone that was produced out of the reactor was especially weak against Tempests and Void Rays because it was just shorter range, couldn't get away as quickly, and didn't do nearly as much anti-air damage. Now, there's a medevac on the way. He's going to lock on and pick off this cannon, which is very nice. There's a medevac here, so we could go for a counter drop, but we have seen historically the answer to that counter drop is if he recalls a Void Ray and shoots it down, right, with like a Void Ray in the depth, or a cannon, a battery, and a Void Ray can be really good. Now, this time the battery's in range. That cannon's not going to go down as easily. Void Ray's going to come forward. No! Okay, he does manage to get it out. Medevac takes some damage. Cyclone's got to be so careful. And he's got to repair. Surely you've got to repair these units. Tank is out. He's thinking about sieging it up. He's going to siege it further back because, of course, he is going to go for that drop. But he's going across for the yellow hit point medevac. Oh, printF sees it. printF knows. printF knows. I'd love to see his Void Ray pick off a few SCVs and then recall back, but it looks like he's chilling right now, waiting for that fleet beacon. Fleet beacon, incredibly expensive. The cannon battery contain is there. Starport's going to go over. Okay, so we're going to see Cyclone Viking. It's going to be a classic response to this, guys. But the drop is there. The recall comes in. It's just a Zealot Adept and a Void Ray. But the medevac's mightily exposed in the Cyclone, locking onto the not Void Ray. Great medevac micro here for our barcode Terran. Very good try-hard micro from this Captain Virgin. Oh, the Void Ray. Oh my gosh, the Void Ray. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. He could have just fought. I think he could have just fought and maybe killed those Marines. Void Ray does go down, but it does slap down the drop. Overall, I think a good trade for printF, as he is going to be ahead. Now, don't get me wrong. Supply-wise, Terran's way ahead. The problem is it's now Tempests against Viking Cannon Battery. This is a dance printF has played 1,000 times before. And remember, this is the guy who literally created the minute micro map. If you guys think you're a really good micro player, go into the arcade, look up minute micro. Actually, yeah, in the arcade. Hold on. Tempest getting jumped on. Oh my god, right when I was talking about how good he is at micro, he goes too deep and he takes massive damage. Oh, that Cyclone lock-on lasted for so long as well. A Viking does go down, so at the end of the day, he does keep it alive, but that is so fragile now. 135 total hit points. Like I said, go to the arcade and play Minute Micro if you think you're good at Micro. It will absolutely shame you. There are world champions who have opened his map, Minute Micro. They will do one of the challenges, and it rates you on every challenge you do. I have seen multiple world champions play that map. And they get rated as having silver or gold level micro in most of the scenarios. It's actually the most brutal map ever. But printF is such a friggin' spreadsheet nerd who just optimizes things. He will play it like 1,000 times until he is like pixel perfect with his micro. It truly is a weaponized level of perfectionism and practice that he brings to the StarCraft experience. Now check this out, with that Void Ray going down earlier, this is big damage. These probes are kind of getting dicked right now. He can't mineral walk for the surround. This is really bad for printF, guys. He does energy recharge, so the Stalker is tanking, but quite a few probes go down. Now, meanwhile, Tempests do take out the bunker, which is very nice. 3 Tempests are here. The Vikings are hiding off to the left. Very important to keep those Vikings away, but the damage is starting to come in. He's hemorrhaging, and these Tempests, oh, if they get rid of that reactor, that is actually huge. Command Center is going to float out, so there will be an expansion. There's a reason he's just trying to buy time. Vikings going to go after the Tempest. They managed to get one? No, they don't. And that's another Viking down the drain. Yes, he's now 2 Tempests that are very weak, but this is a very real problem. This is why if you're doing the reactor Viking thing, you're meant to build the reactor as far away as possible if you can afford to. Hard to do it in the heat of the moment, but if you're thinking ahead, you might be able to. The Marine Cyclone drop comes back in. These guys causing a massive amount of problem here for printF. He's taking big damage. Oh my gosh, how's he going to handle it? Okay, Tempests are still here on the front. Meanwhile, I'm keeping an eye out in case the Vikings go back in. That drop will pull away, but printF's down to 17 workers, guys. Remember, it's one base or die trying, so he normally doesn't mind losing some probes, but this is definitely a big hit on his income right now, especially his gas mining has been severely hampered. He is warping in another Stalker, but he's out of battery juice right now. He does have energy recharge available. Oh, he gets the medevac, though. Bad pickup, bad pickup. Oh, no. Bad pickup here. Oh no, that's a big problem, man. Matchsticks has had a big issue there. I realize we haven't given our barcode Terran an actual name until now. We're going to call him Matchsticks. Matchsticks losing that drop there would have been better leaving them unloaded. Now, this has been scouted. Of course, Vikings can land to beat a Stalker, but that gets very fancy if these Tempests are bullying you at the same time. Now, no Tempests have gone down in the making of this game so far, but there's only 3 of them. And all that gas mining lost is really, really impactful. They're so wounded as well. Oh my gosh. Okay, he does take out... Did he get a Viking there? He's killed 3 Vikings so far this game. Those Tempests all deep in the red. He's going to move a Stalker forward to help kind of spot for the Tempests. That's the idea. Because if the Tempests go too far forward, they're going to be in big troubles. Remember, they've got, of course, more range than their actual vision. They're going to try and pick off the Cyclone, but that does mean they're exposing themselves. Oh, the Vikings! No! printF just got wrecked. Okay, I mean, I say no, but also yes, because printF is the dirty cannon rusher. Matchsticks did just take him to D-Town, and this is huge. The tank's going to push forward. The landed Viking is there as well. He doesn't want to land all the Vikings, but maybe he should land the Vikings and then just push him off the high ground, right? Because you could kill Gateway, Pylon, Battery, and Cannon. But now that there's a Tempest out, it's going to be a little harder. printF's going to try and bait these Vikings into the cannons is the whole aim of the game right now. The Vikings dancing back and forth. It's all about that Tempest giving high ground vision. The cannons does do a fair bit of damage. The SCVs are here to repair, but the gas has already gone down. Meanwhile, up there, Stalkers are on top. Reactor starport number 2 goes down, which means the Stalkers are ravaging. The Vikings have to go north to defend. That means the Tempest could poke in. The siege tank has to run away because the Vikings are chasing the Stalkers, but Stalkers way more maneuverable than Vikings. He can pick one off and run away. printF here, just tactical retreat. He says, yep. Your Vikings can't be everywhere, mate. You haven't used your Vikings as ground defense and air defense. Siege tank popping out here, not knowing how to drive around the factory. Who the hell gave that guy his siege tank license? Vikings, though. Oh, no! printF! printF! He tried to move his Stalkers back in, but the Vikings were waiting on the high ground. Oh no! He lost all of his Tempest before. Now he loses that. Oh my gosh, but the economy of Terran is hurting, but he's on 38 workers. Surely the Terran has this now. He's got 2 starports. He doesn't need a reactor. Not with 2 I mean, his gas mining's hurting. He does need to get his gas up on the natural. These Stalkers are being a massive pain in the butt, right? Because the Vikings having to be used as anti-ground. But he's got Marines and Vikings up there. These Vikings could land and push this back. The thing is, if he lands, he knows the Tempests are going to pick off a few Vikings. That's the problem he finds himself in right now. This siege tank, maybe, if he can just move this tank down here, I think he can defend, but he's taken a long time. The panic is setting in. It's such a weird and awkward situation. SCVs try to chase that, and oh, he's got to be careful about moving too far forward. He does move a little far forward. Vikings take out one. Can they get another? The Tempest's getting jumped on, but oh, he's gonna lose. He's gonna lose like 2 or 3 Vikings there. That was a bad chase. It was a bad initiation. Another one goes down. Okay, this is a big mistake right now. He's got Vikings. He needs to be building Vikings 2 at a time. He could float his whole main base away. That is a very valid choice here. Pick up the SCVs and leave, but you'll lose all your depots. And that's the problem. I think if he got that tank down here, just in this position, further away from the ramp, he could have baited the Tempest in deeper to here. That's where the Vikings could have engaged. But the Tempest getting engaged over here was just a bit too close to the cannon battery. You've got to be able to chase close enough. The Stalkers are there, making things really messy. The Siege Tank and Marines are going to try to defend. Tank sieged up. He can defend, but the Stalkers are sieging, and they could actually pick off this reactor. I don't think they realize they can be out of range there. Tempest is going to come forward. I think the Stalkers would be best off picking the depots. The problem is if your Tempests go too deep, then they may get cut off by those Vikings. Command Center is going to land. He still hasn't killed printF Spain, which is kind of surprising, but that's just a testament to the 2-gate Stalker pressure. The Stalkers just adding this extra layer of douchebaggery. It's very hard to deal with. Also, this base could get sieged from the high ground. And that's where things get awkward. So you've got Stalkers here and then Tempests. This base is not defensible. This base is actually completely indefensible, guys. If we think there's just no way, right? Unless he gets a tank on the high ground. If he puts a tank here, Marines here, and the Vikings fly back and forth between maybe. But as it is, he's going to be supply blocked for a while. He's rebuilding depots. Remember, he's had way more income this game, but also now he's lost more than 2-1 compared to printF. Match 6 is in trouble. I'd love to see this command center float out. The question is, do you go take this base next to the Protoss main, or do you expand in a more vulnerable position? The Tempest Stalker position does get found. Vikings cannot deal with this on their own. Even with that tank landing a shot, it barely covers that very edge. I don't think the Vikings can take it. Then again, he gets one. He loses a Viking. Another one almost goes down. That's a lot of Stalkers. He's going to go forward again, but anytime you dance on the edge of range, that's where the Tempests really excel. And that's where problems do arise. Ooh, Vikings go forward, but another 2 Vikings go down. He can't afford this. There's only 5 left, which means he's lost lethality. Can't take these Tempests down anymore. Not really. 1 Tempest does get to red hit points, which is kind of amazing. You can see printF trying to pull it to the back there. Oh, he does lose it. Misclicked the wrong Tempest to retreat. But so many SCVs are going down. The damage super worth it here for printF as he continues to try to bait these Vikings into a terrible situation. Using that beautiful range on those Tempests. Does stay a little too long, but look at that. Those Vikings taking big damage, and this is an unfeasible position. He's going to have to pull away from here. I think printF may have him checkmated. Yes, there's a lot of Marines coming out. Even Marauders on the low ground. But the Vikings are getting hammered, and this is a massive disaster. The SCV count, how many SCVs have died this game? Let's check quickly. 49! 50 SCVs have gone down, and he's got to abandon another position. And these depots, once again, very vulnerable, as is the production. He needs to get this base up. He's going to move north and try to take that one. Remember that printF's income is drying up as well. It's not like he has a massive amount of income. Stim's not quite ready. Tempests are in the open. Tank is here along with Marine, Marauder, Viking. The Tempests try to focus the tank. They don't quite get it. Stalkers come forward. Tempest takes some damage. The Vikings are taking shots from those Tempests. Oh, the Vikings are also wounded, but they're not dead just yet. And every time he turns, it gets a volley off. And you're not making him pay for it. It's really bad for Matchsticks. Matchsticks going to stim forward. The Vikings will take care of the Tempests. But is there enough Marines and that Marauder to take care of the Stalkers? They're not Blink Stalkers. They really struggle against Stim Bio. All the Tempests go down. Dude, has Matchsticks done it? He's got this base up here. He's going to send the workers back to mine. But the Tempest Stalker could recall and siege from this side as well, right? That is an option. Stalkers do pursue the Marine Marauder. He knows that he can't afford to stim a large amount, so he wants to chase him with the Stalkers, but now he sees Medivacs as well, and that spells disaster. Because with Medivacs and a siege tank anchoring, that is so much better. Luckily, though, for printF, the tank isn't repaired, and remember, no units have been building. Only now, as this income starts coming in, will the unit production start back up. He's also going to re-land this command center, realizing, hey, I can mine it fine from this, right? Because you're going to have to go around now. I could retake this base. And this is actually really smart. It's a really interesting game of cat and mouse, because anywhere near the cannon battery, bad, terrible place for Matchsticks to fight. Anywhere else, though, there is possibilities of it. Marine Marauder stims forward. He's going to get some good tank shots off, but I don't think he has enough to overwhelm the Stalkers and the Tempest off creep. Those Tempests actually tank a lot. One of the Tempests will go down. The Stalker's taking a fair bit of damage, but his stim runs out, which means if he uses another stim... Oh, man, the Tempest, he's going to try pull the Tempest away. Tempest, oh, that's an air blocker. The Tempest goes down. The Stalkers will use that healing shrine to heal up over there on that right side of Persephone. Another Tempest does catch him in the middle of the map. That's actually probably bad for printF. I think printF's probably screwed. He's starting to long distance mine. And the double orbital is here. There's an engineering bay as well in case he wants to get maybe +1. He's got concussive, no combat shields just yet. Still, that one tank has been such an important unit. If it wasn't for this siege tank, I think this might have gone printF's way. As it is, printF finally finds this northern base. And like I said, he could siege this from the high ground. If he could siege both bases from the high grounds, that becomes awkward. But the mobility of the Stim Bio and the Medivacs might be enough. If he can catch this last Tempest, will be huge. Tempest moving north. Stalkers are, of course, incredibly vulnerable. They are going to go down no matter what. Concussive shells will take care of those Stalkers. But the Tempest on the high ground, gonna have something to say about it as he slowly picks away at these Marines. What the hell is going on in this game, man? Oh, printF's making another the Tempest. He's denying mining. If he can deny both of these bases again without there being enough Vikings to chase him, and there's no Vikings right now, the only way to deal with it is with the Medivacs. And right now, Matchsticks is worried that there's other bases, but he's playing printF. He doesn't realize this is printF. It's one base or die trying. Is printF thinking about expanding? Will he break his own rule? I don't think so. Stalker on the high ground up here. You know he's going to rally that Tempest over there as well. There we go. Tempest going to head to that high ground. These Tempests evicting this base. Every time there's mules and SCVs dropping, Terran's getting way ahead, right? Massive income advantage. 8-1. Or, sorry, 8-1. 6, 5-1, 3-1, 4-1. These numbers keep changing. Let's say 4-1, 5-1 in terms of the income on average. Tempest, Stalker on the high ground. These SCVs getting taken out. How many Vikings are there? There's one. There's only one Viking. Combat shields is coming in, which means that the 23 Marines, 3 Marauders are a problem. But yeah, one Viking can't beat a Tempest, even with mass repair, right? Like, he could mass repair this Viking right now. Oh, he's going to come with the drop, though. He's going to come with the drop, combat drop. He's got to repair the Viking. He's going to repair the Viking. If he repairs the Viking, it might be okay, but printF focuses the Viking down. He says, screw you, boy. The Tempest is still there. Oh, and the Tempest is going to burn this one down. The Tempests are actually going to kill a command center. The Marines are trying to save it. He's trying to drop a mule to repair. Oh, he saves it. The mule starts repairing. Matchsticks is a god gamer, apparently, guys. Oh, my gosh. Matchsticks saves the command center. The Marines are hunting the Tempests. They're being so annoying, but they've finally been cornered. And in that moment, I think printF knows he's done. I think he's got a GG now. Yeah. He's so annoying to play against. Not normally a big fan of people barcoding on the ladder, but I gotta say, Matchsticks worked hard for this one. Hats off to you, mate. GG, well played.